What's up everyone, Toshi here. In this video, we'll be going over all the current Honkai Star Rail characters in the actual CBT. And there is a couple lead characters in here, but we won't be going over those. If you have seen any lead characters, don't mention it. I don't know how Hoyo is about leaks going forward with Star Rail, but that's beside the point. We'll put all these characters in this current tier list, and these are all the characters that are in the current CBT 3. Now, this is going to be a pre-release tier list, and this will probably change, or is subject to change rather, on release. We'll make a whole new tier list on release, and I'll give my thoughts on that as well. But this will be currently where I see the characters fit on the tier list, and I kind of actually want to make another tier for a specific character. Okay, so bronya gives an attack buff, she gives a crit damage buff, and her ultimate gives a further buff to the whole team. This character is going to be really good in a lot of comps. You put her with a character like himekooo, she's going to do nice AoE damage. You put her with a character like, single target seal, she's going to do a nice single target cleave damage. I probably will have like a video of Code using bronya and seal. I believe he used those two. And he did a lot of, let's just say he one-shot pretty much everything in the game. This character is going to be, without a doubt, the best character in the game by far, and I don't think there's going to be a character in the future that has the same kind of capabilities as she does. If there's a character in the future that does what bronya does but better, you should be honestly worried for the future of the game. Let me just say that. So yeah, aside from being Toshi's favorite character, this character is pretty busted. So yeah, you should definitely have her on your account. I don't see a world without having bronya, honestly. Heng, a lot of people have been saying he's been good. I seen him in the CBT. I'm gonna put him in S. I think this will be a good starting point for every DPS in the game. I think every DPS in the game is pretty decent at what they do, and that's deal damage. Some might deal more damage than others. That's where multipliers kick in. But I think as a single target DPS, Heng is pretty good. You put a slow in the enemy, he deals additional damage with his ult, and that's pretty straightforward. You want to put him with a character like Welt. I think if you have a character like Welt, him and Heng will go good together. Welt slows the opponents. All Heng needs is a slow to be able to do maximum damage with his ult. And I think these two will be really solid together. Speaking of Welt, I might as well put him on the tier list. I think this character is really good. I'm putting him in double S because he has a lot of utility in his kit. He has a slow, which is very nice. Slowing down the enemy is very good because you'll be able to turn cycle more effectively in your team comps, and also just having good damage. I mean, he looks like Sosuke Aizen, so maybe that's the reason why he's already overpowered. But this character is really good. I've seen some footage from the CBT, and he's done pretty much what I said he would do. Negate the enemy from getting a turn, as long as you are fast enough. This character is really good. And he has AoE as well. A lot of damage, as I said before. And I think any character with debuffs and damage is just going to be strong. Debuffs are bust in this game. Next up, we have Serval. She's a very interesting 4-star character. We get her for free. I'm going to put her in A tier. I don't think she's better than Heng, but I don't think she's much worse than Heng. I'm not saying Heng is bad, but I think putting her in A is just a good starting point. She's a free character, so I think overall she'll be really nice to have in your account. If you don't have any lightning DPS characters, I think she'll be really solid to have. Like I said before, she has decent AoE damage. I personally did not want to use her, but I've seen people use her, and she's done what I expected to do. Now, this character you wouldn't use over, more. You wouldn't pretty much use her This character you wouldn't use her over, more, I would say, stronger Electro DPS characters. Lightning, excuse me, not Electro. I play too much Genshin. And she pretty much does the job. But like I said, I wouldn't rank her as the same as Heng. I think Heng is in a tier of his own, and that's pretty much where I'll put all DPS. Would probably be an A tier for the most part. All right, Seal. Seal is, this character is really, really good. I'm gonna put her in double S because I think she's just really good at what she does. She has very nice single target damage. You put her with a character like bronya, like I said before. Any character that boosts up your attack is always going to be really good. So bronya is one of those characters, and also a character like, where is she? Tingyun will be really nice to have with your Seal. I think honestly having Seal with Tingyun and bronya in the same team might actually be pretty good. A lot of people have been saying that the buffs don't stack. You get the best buff, and that is where your source of damage will come from. So if you have, let's say for instance, you get like one attack buff and then you get another attack buff, well, the 20% attack buff wouldn't stack with the 30% attack buff. Instead, you would get the 30% attack buff. But I think what is to take into consideration whenever you use a character like Seal is when you have her with Bronya and Tingyun in the same team, you'd probably use Bronya first, and then you would use Tingyun in the following turn to give her even more damage after your buffs from Bronya expired. Or if you just don't have Bronya over, on your account, then you can use Tingyun as a alternative, right? But since we're on topic of Tingyun, as I pretty much explained her before, yeah, Seal, very nice single target DPS. She pretty much one-shots. If she one-shots, I guess I should explain more. If she one-shots, then she will do follow-up attacks, constantly turn cycling. She also gives speed in her, not only her constellations, but her, I believe her talent gives her speed. So she has a lot of speed boosting in her kit. You could put her with a character like Asta, and I think she'll do really well because Asta also boosts the speed. I'm not sure if the speed boost, I think her speed boost stack, but the speed boost that you get from other characters, I'm not sure if that stacks. We'll have to wait and see. And I'm gonna let the theory crafters do their job. But yeah, I think she's just a really good character overall to have on your account. And Tingyun, I pretty much spoiled where I put her, but I'd probably put her in S. I think she's a really nice support. Any character that buffs up attack, the damage you do is just gonna be good overall. I don't see a world where this character is actually not that good. I think she's just a really strong character overall. I think for the most part, most characters in this game are not bad. I think most of the characters are pretty good to an extent. I don't think there's a single bad character in the game so far, which is a good sign, by the way. This is how you want a game to be for most players, is you're able to use any character and have them viable to a certain extent. Now, Pela, from what I've seen, she has a nice defense break. She's like the only character in the game that pushes down defense. I believe someone said that there was another character. I'm not sure if Silverwolf has a defense break in her kit, but I think she has something like that. But overall, I think Pela might be... See, the thing is about this character is I've also seen people say she's not good because then you have a loss in DPS. I mean, ideally, you can put her in a team, but I think what she pretty much does is make a team that's already good even better. You don't really need her necessarily. Maybe there's a monster in a boss, in the future that has like 2 bazillion defense, right? And you need to lower his defense a little bit, then you probably bring Pela. But I think as of right now, she's not needed, not a necessary character to have on your account. So I'd probably put her in B. This will probably change a little bit as we go through more characters here. Arlan. I've been having people tell me to use this character. I have not used him. But I've been having people tell me to use this character. I'm going to put him in A tier. I think he is a pretty solid DPS. I've seen his numbers. I wouldn't rate him higher than these, characters, for example, but I think he's going to be a decent character to have on your account. If you don't have a lightning DPS, well, you'll have Arlan, right? Assuming you don't have anything, you get Arlan, use him. He's pretty good. Sampo, I think this is one of the funniest characters in the game overall. I think he's a great, character to have in the game. He's been cracking me up in the story every time I've seen him show up. But I don't know if this character is going to be good long term. He is very nice in teams with dots, but as of currently right now, pre-release game, I don't think he's the best character. I think he'll definitely be much better when we have more characters. For instance, KAFKA, when she comes in the game, I think this character will have a lot more value overall in the team comp. But I think as of right now, you don't really get much value out of using him when you can use pretty much other characters that do the job better, and that's dealing damage. I mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory. Dots, damage over time, your characters do damage, right? DPS do damage. Well, you want the DPS that does the most damage, and he doesn't really do more DPS than a character like Seal. But I'm pretty sure later on he'll definitely have his place, and he'll be, higher tiers when a character like KAFKA, example, comes out, and he'll have his moment of shining. Herta, I think this character is actually pretty good. Shout out to, I don't remember your name. I'm so sorry. I've seen someone say they absolutely love this character. I've seen people say they absolutely hate this character. She's not good. She has low damage. I think she's going to be really good for farming in the game. If you don't have an AoE, well, we all get her free, right? But she'll be really good for farming mobs. You put her in your rug farming, you pretty much just auto. She'll do nice AoE damage. You put her with a character like tingyun, character like bronya. She's, like I said before, she's just going to do a lot of damage. I don't think this character is bad at all. I'd honestly put her in A tier. I just think she's pretty solid. You know, I think any AoE damage dealer is just a lot of value. Considering that, you know, you'll always have a reason to use them over, let's say, a character like Seal, right? I think Seal is more niche than a character like Herta, but I think Seal is a better DPS overall than Herta, if that makes sense. So overall, in all content in the game, I think Herta is a A, but you know, that could change. You know, maybe her constellations make her 10 times better, but at a C0, you know, base kit, I think she's A for now. Maybe even B. But I think if you put her in a certain comp with, like, let's say Himekooo, for example, the next character, I think she'll have a much better chance to shine. Speaking of Himekooo, I think this character is actually pretty good. Now, you all know I've had her on the beta account I've had, and I've been using her, and I think she's really good. She's a very nice fire DPS, very good AoE damage. If you have her in your team, you pretty much can't go wrong. You put her for a character like bronya, bronya will boost up the attack, and this character will constantly be doing nice AoE damage. You put her with a character like Herta, and there's very nice synergy, right? You do lots of damage, AoE, and then you get the characters to less than 50%, and then the Herta comes in and keeps swinging her hammer. You know what's funny? I've seen a clip of someone using these two together, and they're just like constantly doing AoE damage and wiping out the floors when they're farming. That's really good, in my opinion. You can't go wrong with her, but I'm going to put her a tier above Herta. I think she does a better job at AoE damage than Herta, so that's why I put her in S. Asta. I think this character is pretty solid. She's a very nice support. She gives a speed buff to the team. She also has very nice... Her shield break is amazing, by the way. This is one of the best shield breakers in the game. If you're playing against a single target fire boss or fire weakness boss, use her. Her shield break is so damn good. And a lot of people like her design. I think she's cute. But yeah, she's pretty good. Nice support. Boosts up the speed of your team. She gives an attack buff as well and does pretty nice shield break. I'm going to put her in S. I think she's really good. I think she's better than... I think she's honestly better than... I think overall she's better than tingyun. But yeah, I think she would go there for sure. She's really good. You put her with a character like Welt, for instance, right? And you'll just be constantly turn cycling. Welt will decrease the speed of the enemy, and then Asta will boost the speed of your team. And I think that alone just makes her really good. We don't have very many speed buffers in the game currently. So yeah, she has a niche that pretty much no other character has currently. KAFKA. This character is like... She's definitely at double S. She has very nice AoE damage. She's very nice in a comp with Sampo. These characters together are just like yin and yang, right? You put Sampo with shampoo and conditioner. I don't know why I made that joke. Ignore that. You put Sampo with Sampo, with KAFKA, and you do very nice dot damage. And that's its own comp entirely. But I think overall, as an AoE damage dealer, she's really, really good. And we've seen showcases of her before. You probably even used her in the trial stages when you played in the beginning of the CBT, and you got a chance to use the character. Maybe you're like me and you're probably staring at the character the whole time. You didn't really get a feel for how the character works. That's probably understandable. But I've actually been able to see gameplay of her on YouTube, and I think she is pretty good. I can't imagine this character being bad on release. Unless her numbers get tweaked all of a sudden, then that'd be very disappointing. Gepard. A lot of people love this character. I'm definitely gonna put him in S tier. He's a very nice support. He gives a lot of utility to the team. He has like shields. He's definitely a 5-star version of March. And a lot of people that got this character probably wouldn't use March unless you need more shielding, but I don't think you need that. He pretty much reminds me of Zhongli. You shield your characters. He has max HP, makes his shield stronger. So the more HP you give this character, the stronger his shields will be. and you can't go wrong with using him in harder content. You could literally use this character in your team and then auto it, and you're just gonna clear everything in the game. I would definitely put him with a character like Clara, for instance, and I think these two characters together have really nice synergy. You need Clara to tank all the damage, and Gepard giving a nice shield to Clara means that, well, the Clara can take no damage, and constantly countering, doing lots of damage. Silver Wolf, I think this character is actually pretty good. I'm sorry, I gotta put this character in brawny tier, just for her being a, you know, younger version of, I call her Bronya Jr. Bronya Jr. is really good. She gives a defense down on the opponent. She also gives a speed reduction, and she gives a elemental res reduction. She's gonna be a very nice support to have on your team. Like I said before, she's a character I'm gonna have on my account. I think she's a character you all need to have on your account. She has the Kazuha, you know, reduce resistance of the enemy, and she also has the C4 Aika constellation, right, that reduces the defense of the opponent. And I think that alone makes her really good. You definitely don't want to miss out on a character like this, and with constellations, she gets even better. It's funny how I put her and Brawny's here, but then I put Pela in B tier, because it's like, if you get Silver Wolf, you probably wouldn't use Pela, right? Because like the defense doesn't stack, from as far as I know. She's probably honestly worse than Sampo. Okay, I think I'll probably edit this at the end, right? Pela best girl. Natasha, this character is really, really, really good. I've been using her a lot in the CBT. She has very nice AoE healing. She also has a heal for herself whenever she gets low HP. She's constantly going to keep your team healthy. She also cleanses a debuff, which is very underrated. Whenever you have the taunt on your characters, it's really frustrating, right? Getting taunted. Well, she can cleanse a taunt off of one of your characters, assuming that she has enough resistance to not get taunted herself. But this character is really good, and I think she'll be a character you all want to have on your, well, you pretty much all will have on your account. And yeah, she's a very nice character. With constellations, she gets even better. I love this character. She's mommy. How could I forget? She is mommy. Clara, this is a character I've been using on my account. One of the 5 stars I've had. I can't put her double S, definitely not. I would probably put her in, I'm putting her in A tier. I think this character is good, but I don't think she's one of the best characters in the game. This character, in my opinion, is the epitome of RNG. If you played Epic 7, you know Rem, you know Violet. She's like Rem Violet, pretty much. Not Remnant Violet, but, well, I mean, Remnant Violet too, right? She is a character where if RNG is, if you're having a good day, play this character. If you're having a bad day, don't play this character. You need her to constantly get hit to counter the opponent. If you press her ult, that she can counter, but it's like up to 2 times. And that's if the enemy hits an ally. And so overall, I think she's going to be a character you probably put her in a team where you AFK, right? You don't feel like playing the game much. You put her in a team with like Gepard, and I mean, she's there, right? She does nice damage. Her damage is really good. Her E is a AoE attack, does a lot of damage there. Her actual counter attacks do massive damage. I mean, massive damage. But if she's not getting hit by the opponent, you're going to be really frustrated, because that's pretty much half of your DPS, you know, that you can't even, you know, make use of, because she's not getting countered or, you know, counterattacking. And so I think this character is going to be someone, like I said, if you're having a good day, use her. If you're not having a good day, don't use her. She's RNG. Hopefully she gets like a small tweak, make the counter chance higher, and I think she'll be, I think she should be double S for sure. March 7th. This character is really good. She has a very nice shield. She gives a shield to your allies. Pretty good, right? You use her in a lot of stages. I've been using her with Clara, for instance, in a counter team, and I think these two work really well together. She's definitely not better than Gepard, right? But she's definitely a budget version of Gepard. I think honestly I should put her in A tier. She has a freeze in her kit, which is honestly pretty valuable, right? You have her with a character like yanqing, right? And you freeze the opponent. Yanqing can come in and do lots of damage to that frozen opponent with the E1 constellation. But overall, I think she is a character that you probably will use as much when you go to later stages in the game. But I think as a free-to-play character, you can't go wrong with using her. She's really good. All right, 4-star Qingque. I don't know how to say her name. I'm gonna put her in B tier. Well, honestly, I'll put her in C tier. I said no character was bad. She's a free character we get in the game, but I don't think she's going to be a character that you probably want to use often. She definitely is decent, but she's not something you're gonna be like, oh, you know, I would use this character over any other character that kind of does what she does. She's a quantum DPS, but I mean, if you want a quantum DPS, you probably use a character like Seal, assuming you probably summon it, which I honestly think if you are a meta gamer, you should probably go for Seal. You wouldn't ever use Shing, I don't know how to say her name. You wouldn't ever use this character. But I think if you have no other options, then this character is definitely someone you can use. But I'm not enthusiastic to use her. I just don't think she's better than other DPSs currently. And her synergy, she doesn't really have much synergy with other characters, because you kind of use her like you would use a himekooo. Except you don't have to go through the layers of trouble you would use himekooo to use this character, right? So that's why I wouldn't put her high. I'd probably put her at the end of B. But I can't even put her in the same tier as Sampo. I probably have to change this later. Sushang. This character is actually pretty good from what I've been hearing. Now, I probably wouldn't put in the same. I probably wouldn't put. I probably would not put her in the same tier as, you know, all of these other DPS characters. Now, granted, I do think she's definitely better than, you know, serval and arlan, and she has nice, you know, damage single target. Now, I can't say that she's definitely better than, you know, these characters, for instance, right? And you'll see the recurring theme is that a lot of the 5-stars are actually really good in this game. So which is surprising. A lot of the 5-stars in this game are actually really good. But like I said before, I can't say for certain that she's a character I would definitely put over the, you know, put in the same tier as himekooo, for instance, right? But she's a very nice single target damage dealer if you don't have any, right? All right, this guy. Honkai's, you know, version of Sing-Sho. I think he's actually pretty good. Now, I'm going to put him at the end of S. I think most DPS characters are going to be really solid for the most part. I definitely do see his damage being more than you know what? I definitely would. I would put him in the same tier as what is his name? Heng, because they both have that single target damage. He has ice, which is different from the element of Heng. Honestly, I'd probably put him. I definitely need to straighten this out. I look at it like this, okay? These like tiers here, it's not really in a particular order. It's kind of just like where I put them on the tier list anyways. Like S tier, I put them all to have that S tier strength. A tier, all A tier strength. S, you know, all S, double S strength. And then Brawny, these two are just really broken, right? These characters are busted out the wazoo. But yeah, I was saying before, he's a very nice single target damage dealer. I've seen Kana use him. I love Kana. I think he's a funny dude. He's used him. He got a constellation for him, I believe, and he's been slapping with Honkai Star Wars Sing-Sho. But yeah, this character is really good. You put him with a character like March, for instance, and I think these two would be really good against the enemies that are weak to ice. And he has nice shield break. His shield break is pretty decent. And like I said before, if you have his E1 constellation and you put him with a character like March, you're gonna deal a lot of damage if that enemy is frozen. All right, Bailu. I think this character is really good. A lot of people are saying she's bad. Not bad, but a lot of people are saying she's not as good. But here's the thing. She's definitely better than Natasha. That's for sure. This character is definitely... I'm going to put her in double S, and here's why. This character has a revive. Now, here's the thing, right? A revive is always going to be very valuable on your account, considering she's like one of the, if not the only reviver in the game, as far as I know, currently. Having that revive skill is very valuable. You can't use the food in the middle of a match, right? Like you would in Genshin Impact. You would use your food if in the middle of a fight. Kind of cheating, but you can't do that in this game, as far as I know. Bailu, however, has the revive. If one of your allies goes down, maybe your Clara, for instance, your Bailu can revive the Clara. Your Clara is back all of a sudden, like she never died in the first place. And I think having that overall is going to be very valuable in your account. She definitely is better than Natasha because she has the revive. and her having nice AoE healing as well is pretty good. And a lot of people also have been saying that she's been a great team character to have whenever they're tackling harder content. Well, I mean, that makes sense, right? All the healers are going to be good because you can't really get around dodging damage in this game. You can't dodge, so you need heals, and that's when you take damage. And so if you have the shields and you have a reviver, there isn't going to be content that you can't beat. Now, there is content where you need, like, you need to beat in a certain amount of turns, stuff like that. But if we ever do get a game mode that is like, oh, for instance, it's not like a certain amount of turns it takes for you to not get rewards, and you just need to actually just win or lose, Bailu is going to be amazing to have in your team comps. This character is really good, and I think if you get her, you will not, regret it. Xuan, I don't know how to say her name. This character, they didn't even show her kit. I don't think, she's not even the current CBT. I don't think they showed her kit. So I'm going to leave her out the tier list for now, because they haven't even shown her kit. So I don't think it's appropriate to put her there. All right, trailblazer. Let's just talk about the two elements really quickly. I think there's another one as well. The very first one is the physical. The physical has pretty nice damage. I think starting out, you'll probably use it a lot. I don't think she has better physical damage than Clara, for instance. Definitely not, right? But I think that she has, and he, they're both the same, right? You probably would use, let's pretend that this one is physical, right? This is going to be, or fire, right? This is the fire trailblazer. A lot of people have been saying the fire trailblazer is really good. She has a lot of tanking combo. She has a provoke, from what I've seen, a taunt, so she can have the enemies hit her, kind of like Clara, for instance. But she doesn't, I mean, Clara doesn't have a taunt, but she has more of a chance to be hit by the enemies. I don't think she's better than Clara, for instance, but I definitely do think she's really good. She's a very nice tank to have. See, here's the trouble. Here's the tough part. You put her in the same category as a character like Gepard because of her shield capabilities alone and the taunting and everything, the tanking and whatnot. But the problem is like she's not a better Gepard, right? But she definitely can be in the same tier. I'll put her in S. Clara, this character will definitely be better if they change her. But the problem is right now it's hard to make use out of her. So I'm gonna leave her an A. She probably is better than Clara. Did I say this was physical or fire? Oh, I said this was fire. Excuse me. Fire trailblazer, better than Clara. S tier, very good. Nice free-to-play character. Physical trailblazer, not better than Clara, but pretty good. You'll definitely use him in the beginner, and you'll see like a lot of the recurring thing. The recurring theme is a lot of the free characters are actually in the same tier. The exemption being Den Heng, because he actually has very nice single target DPS, like very good. I mean, Arlan has pretty good single target DPS, but I mean, this guy is just like on a whole nother level. Jing, that's how you say it, right? This character has very nice AoE damage. He has a stand. He fights like he's Dio Brando from, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This character is going to be really good to have on your account. You probably won't go wrong with having him. I definitely do think he's better than most of the characters in S tier. I'm going to put him in double S. Assuming his numbers are there, I think this character will be really good. A lot of people has him. A lot of people have him in the CBT. They've been enjoying him. They've been having fun with him. I've played with him as well. His damage is there. Now, we'll have to see how he holds up, but I definitely do believe he's a better AoE damage dealer than, himekooo, for instance. So that's why I put him in double S. This is going to be the tier list for the most part. Now, a lot of this can be subject to change. Let me go to move my head out the way. A lot of this can be subject to change, but I think for the most part, this is pretty much how it's going to be. Assuming they don't nerf any of the bronya characters, they do nerf any of the bronya characters, then they'll probably, I don't know. How would you nerf these characters? If you change their multipliers by a little bit, it isn't going to change much because the characters still do what most characters can't do, right? So that's why I can't even say that they would, drop lower than double S. But I think as of right now, these are the two most broken characters in the game, uncontested. Now, in the future, like I said before, Bailu is a really strong character because of that revive. So I kind of want to put her in Brawny tier, but she's not Bronya, so I'm going to leave her in double S. this character is really good. Like, really so good. I want to have her my account. So I'm gonna put her at the top of double S. This would probably be the only time I would say this character is a must pull. Okay, let's categorize the tiers really quickly. So Brawny tier is going to be must pull characters, Bronya and Silverwolf. These are must have characters. Like these two characters right here, I'm gonna have them. You should have them. That's what I'm trying to say. Every person that plays Honkai Star Rail should have these two characters on your account at some point, because they will literally trivialize most of the content in the game. Bronya giving the nice CR push, right? You know, full CR push, the attack buff, the crit damage buff, the damage buff to the team. Like, this character is so fucking broken. You need her. Silverwolf, lowering the resistance and the defense. You need her. She's broken, and she's so badass in the story. I made a whole video on it. You can watch that. These two characters, I already said it a bazillion times. Must pull. All right, double S. Bailu, very nice revive unit. I said unit. Oh no. Very nice revive character. She's very nice healer too. She's definitely a upgraded version of Natasha. Then give her like C6 Barbara, right? You have her, you would use her, but in a turn-based game, she has more value than a Barbara because, I mean, let's be honest, you're gonna take damage eventually. So having her in your team is going to be really good. If you get this character, you probably will use her at some point. Well, a very good, AoE damage dealer. His damage is pretty solid. Him having the slow is also good. I just think he's really good to have on your account. You put him with a character like Heng, these two will just absolutely destroy most, enemies in the game. Very nice synergy. Now, I will say a lot of the stuff in this tier list will change based on your gear level. For instance, if you have a slow Bronya, you don't get much value out of the character. If your Bronya is omega fast, I mean, you're gonna trivialize most of the content in the game. If your Silverwolf has nice DPS stats, she'll be really good. She definitely doesn't have more damage than a character like Seal, for instance, but the utility she provides is why I put her in the Bronya, and she's Bronya too. Anyway, I'm done talking about the Bronya characters. I've already simped for them enough. Seal, this character, assuming you have the best DPS gear you have possible, okay, Seal will probably be the character on your account you give the best DPS gear to. This character is going to absolutely trivialize every bit of content in the game if you have her geared to a degree. The better gear you have, the better this character can perform, because like I said, she has the constant turn cycling. She has the constant, taking turns, everything. You've probably seen videos on YouTube already of this character constantly taking turns because she has the DPS to one-shot the enemy. When you get the kill, she resets and then gets another turn. You put it with a character like Bronya, these two characters are going to slap. Oh my god. Low Bronya Jr. You decrease the defense of the enemy and the resistance, and she's a quantum support. Oh my god. Like, if your account is Bronya Jr., Bronya, and Seal, oh my Jesus Christ, dude. You win the game. KAFKA, this character is going to be really good. I'm sure you're all happy to hear that she's going to be really good. Massive AoE damage. She has nice dots that she can put on the enemy, which is also pretty good. You probably used her in a trial run, so you're a little familiar with her. I mean, you saw how much damage she did when she pressed the Q and said, boo. I mean, she scared the living fuck out of me. First of all. Second of all, she's really good. I don't see this character ever being bad. I kind of want to put her in, but no, I can't do that. I'm definitely going to leave her here. Double S for sure. Jing very nice AoE damage dealer. He's definitely better than all of these other characters. As a DPS standpoint. Now, I do rank the supports okay, the reason why I rank these supports that heal and just shield kind of lower than other characters, for instance, like you can say Gepard is, double S tier, but here's the thing, right? Sometimes you're gonna need more DPS on your team, right? And a lot of the content you're gonna be playing in a lot of content you're gonna be doing in the game is gonna be a DPS stat check more than anything else, right? You have the DPS, you're gonna be clearing most of the content. Gepard does bring survivability, sure, with these shields, but you're losing out on damage in compensation. Now you could say, oh, Toshi, well, if I have more shields and my characters are alive longer, and then I'm able to deal more damage overall because my characters are alive. I mean, sure, but he only shields, and he's a better shielder than March. So that's why I have him a tier above March, but I wouldn't put him in a tier, with Bailu, for instance, because Bailu gives a revive, and she has nice healing as well. Oh my god, I need to drink water. Everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. If you have any questions, definitely do let me know. I believe this is a pretty solid tier list. You could probably change a couple things here and there, like for instance the travelers. You can probably change, or trailblazer, excuse me. You could probably change the tiers on them. Clara, for instance, would be a character that'd be interesting to see up to release. Maybe she gets like a small tweak. I would love to see this character get a tweak. I definitely do think she needs a tweak, because if you get her in your account, this is probably gonna be the worst standard banner 5-star you get on your account. Only because she has a little bit of RNG involved, and I just gotta hate RNG. It is the most frustrating thing to ever face. And if you play Epic 7, you're gonna hate this character. I'm just letting you know. Everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. Sampo, considering KAFKA is, currently in the game already, you could argue. I think this character definitely has more value. So I'd probably put him in S, because KAFKA is already in the game. But let's say if KAFKA didn't exist, I'd probably put him like B, for instance. But no, since KAFKA's here, he definitely has a lot more value in the dot team. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it here. If you have any questions, let me know, of course. And yeah, I'm looking forward to release a Honkai Star Rail. My account will probably look a little something like this. These are the characters I'll probably aim to have, because they're the strongest characters. Well, being like one of the coolest characters, honestly, he looks pretty badass. But anyways, I'm done simping for most of the characters that I find enjoyment of. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and have a nice rest of your day. Lost my voice. Peace. I just want to let you all know that I stream daily on twitch.tv/Toshia. The link will be in the description, and I hope to see you there.